Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome back to another edition of Track Walk in MX Simulator, where today we are taking a look at a dream motocross neighborhood. This is Jackrabbit Junction by JGMTBike, maybe the greatest creation JGMT has ever made in MX Simulator. This is a massive compound. There are so many different tracks, so many different types of things to do on this compound. There's a sand track, there's a national track, there's what I think is a pit bike track. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 supercross tracks, and then like a supercross hybrid track as well. There's a enduro track, there's a local cross track, and then there's a huge freestyle area as well, as this entire place being just one giant neighborhood. There's houses, there's gas stations, there's a little picnic area right here. I think even the street signs say stuff. MOTO Boss Drive, I love that. JLV Avenue. Curious if the other street, which is back here, says anything different than that. But this is incredible. I want to check this out real quick. This is MOTO Boss Drive, JLV Avenue. So there's a couple of MOTO Boss Drives, but I think he just made the same stop sign. Unbelievable. This is truly unbelievable. How much work has gone into this by JGMT, and we're just going to ride this track here as much as we can. We're going to start off with the upper left-hand corner of the map. This is the Donnie Malone's AX, so it's technically not a supercross. He calls it an arena cross, but it's pretty big for an arena cross. And this is the lone track, I believe, that incorporates jumping over the actual road as part of the track, which is a pretty cool concept. I think I've seen JG actually do this a couple times on some of his tracks before, so it's not a brand new concept, but I like when he does it just because I feel like it's something that if I owned this much area of land and was able to jump over a road or jump over like a driveway or something like that, it'd be kind of fun to create, just to kind of expand the parameters of a track a little bit more. But this is a really fun track. It's a pretty fun track to start off on too, just because it is a little bit smaller and tight compared to the other 3 supercross tracks that he has there. So yeah, and I like the options that this one presents as well. You got an off-camber line right here in this off-camber corner that you could go inside and double out, then you go triple over that, double, and then again jumping across the road. And then a lot of these supercross tracks that he has on this compound have just absolutely massive hits, and this one is no different. You can triple in right here and then 5 off of that out to flat, and then jump into this off-camber berm right here. And then, like, this is pretty cool, too. Like, I've never seen someone do a step-on to nothing. Like, you step on, you just kind of fall off of it. There's not an actual jump off of it or anything like that. So kind of a unique perspective or a unique take on that, which I think is pretty cool. Not really riding this track very well right now, but that's okay. You guys get kind of the gist, and we'll wrap it up here with jumping out of this corner, jumping across there, and then I think you just triple and then, yeah, bounce across the road here. So that is this track. I'm going to go kind of as if I would be reading like a piece of paper, top left and across. And this is called the Pitter track. And I'm using, thanks to a reference file that was put into the thread for this track, a little thing that shows off what each track is. And I'll be sure to include a link to that in the description. But this is the Pitter track, which I believe is meant for pit bikes. As you can see, like, I don't even have to be going that fast to clear that jump right there. This is also a pretty small little jump right here. So basically what it is it's designed for the 50cc motorcycles that are included with the game, would be my guess. I haven't actually ridden it on a 50, but I didn't want to change the bike I was riding the entire way just to be able to ride this one track. And you can still ride it on a 450. It's just obviously very small and tight and twisty. So it's not really like the coolest track to ride for this video, just because it would be more fun to ride it on a pit bike. He obviously made it a little bit slicker, a little less roll resistance because of that, and you get cooking down some of those straightaways to overjump stuff pretty easily. But again, a nice little, easy track right here, something that I think if you pop this track on a server and do some laps with some buddies, it'd be a lot of fun to jump on a pit bike and race against each other. But I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Instead, I'm going to go to what is called the Menard Moment MX track. So this is the big MX track on this compound. And I mean, if you guys have played any JG tracks over the years, you guys know how well JG makes flowy national tracks, especially ones that have a lot of good jumps in them. He's, in my opinion, one of the best track creators when it comes to turning a flat terrain into something a little bit more than just a flat terrain. Like, he really provides a lot of different options. and you know, stuff that just kind of shakes up the mold of a track a little bit too, so it doesn't feel like you're doing monotonous stuff over and over again, like little turning doubles right here. He's got this line right here where you come out of this, and this is like you could quad over the whole thing, and then a little jump into the corner over a roller into a sand corner right here, like just like thinking of different options. And a lot of this compound has that. I feel like there's a lot of different areas where it's just like, oh, that's pretty much how he built it, because he was trying to force you into a different option than you would think. It's not a step on, step off. It's like, you know, over this table or do this or whatever. And I just like that. I appreciate that he had some originality with that. And the national track is really, in my opinion, no different to that, even though there's a lot of kind of your standard jumps or tables or whatever on it. Like, I feel like the way that he kind of combined everything to create a flow on this track really, really works well, and kind of ties everything together nice. I like this little jump right here because it looks like it's going to be a big one, but it's just like this little floater thing into this inside line, and still jump that out of the corner. Not quite. We're going down. But yeah, this is Menard Moment MX. So like, quite literally, this compound is made up of 10 tracks that he could have released individually, probably. Like, he could have just made that arena cross track that we started with, or he could have just made the pit bike track, or he could have just made this national track. But he's obviously included huge amounts of detail to every single track to make this whole compound tied together really nicely. And I haven't actually hit what looks to be a triple backflip jump right there, so I'm going to go over and do that right now. I'm trying not to make this video too long, but obviously I want to show off each track so you guys can check it out for yourself. It pitches you way too high to probably triple flip it, but let's see if we can land it. Now we're going too long. But the MX track, definitely one of my favorite tracks on this compound, has, like I said, just really, really good flow. And kind of like one thing that you don't really notice about this map is there's this dirt road that goes all the way from kind of top to bottom through this map, and it goes through 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks on this compound. So I think that's pretty wild. We'll go over here and do this is called the Abandonous Sand Pit. The Abandonous. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But it's a sand pit. I mean, it's basically a sand track, and just like the national track, really good flow for a sand track. He's kind of late, I feel like, been taking a keen liking to making sand tracks. He made this like beachy sand track that I was going to do for a track walk a little while ago, never got around to, but I probably will at some point, and put a lot of work into that. Like, he's definitely trying to break the mold, I feel like, a little bit of just doing a stereotypical like hilly, floaty valley tracks, which a lot of people enjoy, but I like that he's changed up his, I don't know, mindset with track building a little bit lately and tried some different stuff, and this sand track is also a lot of fun. I think this one would be a really good one to do on a 125. It's really tight and twisty on a 450. Obviously, you can carry some good speed with the power delivery on the 450, but it would probably be pretty fun to try this track on a 125 or maybe even a 250F, where you're a little bit down on power and it's more about carrying that momentum from corner to corner, because that's a lot what sand riding is all about. But it's a pretty, you know, small little track. It's not a very long lap time. I think it's probably just over a minute in total. I have timing gates only set up for the one track that I started on. Didn't want to change over to a new track every single time that I started a new track and have to cut the video up or anything like that. Just wanted to ride around and show you guys this compound. But you know, it doesn't seem like it's terribly long of a lap time. Pretty fun little flow to it for sure. And yeah, good little sand track right there as well. So from there, we've kind of done all the top part of the map. So I'm going to kind of reset and go back across here, and we're going to go through the middle part of the map from left to right, or at least is the way that the map is laid out here. And we're going to go down to the track over here, which is called the Wildside Wamble SX. And this is what I would say is kind of like the main house on the compound. There's obviously a house and some cars and some stuff like that right here. And like, it seems like they bought this land first, built this track, and then expanded from here. Maybe I'm misreading it or whatever, but obviously this is the main Supercross track. And what I like about what he's done with this compound is he's made the Supercross tracks and the local cross track clay, which is really, really common for people who build compounds in Florida, or honestly really anywhere, is to buy clay and make the Supercross tracks out of clay, because they'll hold up better with the actual shape of the jumps, but they'll still break down and get nice little ruts in them here and there, but it won't completely destroy. Like, if you build it with kind of your standard dirt, or sometimes your more loamy dirt that you build with a motocross track, the Supercross track doesn't hold up as well. So a lot of people build those Supercross tracks with clay. You have like Jason Baker from Dream Tracks come in and build a track, and he'll build a track with clay. So it's really common to see like red dirt, honestly, on a big compound that includes supercross tracks, and I like the aesthetic of that with what he's done here. Like, it's not a huge supercross track, but it definitely feels like your backyard type of supercross track that someone, you know, brought in clay, brought in a skid steer, and built a very, very nice and flowy supercross track. Really good fun to like kind of practice on and dial in a couple things. And he's actually on this track done something that I did with another test track that I used to have on one of my compounds, which is the finish line jump over a little sequence on the track like that. And he could comment and tell me if I'm wrong. The first time I remember seeing that sequence of jumps right there, where you go inside of the jump over like this right here, is in like a 2009 video, or 2008 it would have been, where Chad Reed and Ryan Dungey and Nico Izzy are all riding Suzukis together, and they have a track on their compound that has that exact same feature. So I don't know if that's where he got it from. That's where I remember first seeing it and always wanted to put it on a track in game when I was building tracks. And so I did, and pretty cool to see it used again here by old JGMT. So that is going to be a couple laps here on kind of the main supercross track. There are a couple other supercross tracks, but I feel like that's the most like realistic supercross track, because the other ones get a little bit fast and wild. There's actually another one in here that's not as gnarly, but we've kind of completed more or less the top half of the map. So we'll go down here to what is called the Smirkies Sand SX, and this is kind of unique. It's got a barn on it right here. I think we've seen this barn a couple times before on some different compounds, but this is a sand hybrid SX track. It's yeah, as the title describes, it's a sandy SX track, and it's not overly supercrossy. It's got, you know, some rhythm sections on it, some tables and stuff like that, but I feel like it almost feels a little bit like a local cross track with some supercross features on it because of the sand. I don't know if like that was on purpose and he was trying to like almost tame it down and not feel like a real supercross track with all the sand that's involved here, but definitely because of the sand, it slows the pace down, makes it a little bit harder to carry momentum, but the jumps themselves really are not that hard to get still. So another track that in my opinion could have stood alone and still been a really, really fun track, but the fact that it's part of this compound makes it that much more sweeter, because you can just kind of pop over and jump between these tracks. Nice little big finish line jump right here. Almost trying to downside it. He likes to make those really steep finish line landers, but not really the best at downsiding stuff like that. So probably going to case the couple other ones that he has on this compound. We'll bust out a couple laps on this track though. A little supercross triple right in here, and then you jump back across what is like the start straight right there, and then flip around right there, double into this gully, and then you kind of try to pop from one gully to another, and then I try to go over this table so that I can double into this turn. Sets myself up on the inside right here so I can triple double, and then get into this corner, land on the inside, use that inside rut. Getting kicked around a little bit. Yeah, just a very, very fun, flowy supercross track. Because of the sand too, it's a little bit more forgiving, I feel like, with the traction. You can kind of lay it into the corners and not feel like it's dragging you down to the ground in some regards, or you don't slide out that easily either. So really fun and simple track as well along here. Actually, did a pretty decent lap right here to show off the second lap. We're going to clean downside that right there too. That was lush. Love that. All right, let's hop over to the next track here, which is, well, first of all, let's go to the gas station, but kind of leads us into the next track. This is a shop gas station, or is this just a BP gas station? Looks like a BP sign on the gas right there. There's a JGMX van. The Wildside Designs a JGMX semi. He's got one of those like raised water truck platform area things, and now we're on to the gas station SX right in here. So this is probably kind of like, you know, that other supercross track, the most supercrossy track on here, even though there are other supercross tracks. This one definitely feels like your typical supercross track. It's got your 3-footers, it's got your 5-footers, it's got whoops. It's got some, you know, ruts and stuff like that, which breaks it up a little bit, but, you know, a very standard whoop section right here. I like this one right here. You pop out of the corner over a table, downside the next table, and double into this corner. Like that flow right there. Jump across, and then another supercross triple right here. We're going to go a little bit long, but that's okay. And then out of this corner, another set of whoops. And then here's another one of those tricky steep landers. And we're going to go a little bit long on it, but not too bad. And then some sand. Getting kicked sideways. Jump out to there. And all the way to the other side. Double out of this corner, and then I think we can go 2, 4. Oh, just a little bit short. But yeah, another kind of standard-ish Supercross track. Good flow. Definitely like the flow on this track. It has, you know, pretty... What I would say about most of his tracks, as I've repeated myself many times with the good flow aspect of them, is that he has sections to me that just kind of make sense. Like sometimes you come up to a section on a new track that you've never played before, and you're like, you know, I'm gonna hit it with this much speed because it feels like that's what the track creator would have wanted, and then it's a wall jump or it's something that's actually much longer and you need to hit the corner a lot harder. I don't feel like JG's tracks do that. I feel like it sets you up really nicely to be going the right speed at the right time, and it doesn't feel like it's putting you in a spot that's, you know, weird or awkward or anything along those lines. So I appreciate it. You know, I think he does a really good job with kind of tying that all in together. So let's hop over to the next SX track, which is right next to it. It's like right on the other side of this little fence right here. And this is Pete's Place SX, actually. And this is one of the more unique SX tracks that I've ever seen. There's that dirt road that goes right between everything right there, and it breaks up a couple set of whoops. But this is basically just like a Daytona-style Supercross track. It's long. It's got this humongous rhythm section right here with a pretty big line. Let's see if I can hop it. I'm going to go down. But you can jump down to the back side of that table. You go table, single table, which is basically jumping 6 jumps, but we'll call it a quad. And then from there, you go 5, 6 after that. So you'd land here, and then you would go over these 5 jumps right here, and then from there, jump all the way out into the corner. I've only been able to pop it once. We'll see if I can do it on this video. If I don't do it, maybe it'll be the thing that I do to end the video. But a little sweeper right here into a dragon's back, out of this one over a Supercross triple, land off of that into a set of whoops, and then we go across the starting area. But of course, just gonna start playing like crap as soon as I record. It is not a video of mine until I start playing terribly while the recording is in progress. Come out of this, and I think you can do something a little bit bigger than triple through here, so I'm gonna try that next time through. But you should go triple, step on, step off, or step on, step off, and then triple into the corner. So a lot of triples right there, but there's a couple other options as well. Triple out of this corner, and then I think you can go quad 3, 2, or you could do something a little bit, you know, neater than that. Downside the finish line jump and carry speed into the first small set of whoops, over that little road, and then into the second set of whoops. And I think if you can get out of this corner clean, you can pop up onto this table, step on, step off, jump over. And then I think from there you would 4 to here, 4 again, 4 again. So we're not gonna quite get it. And then 5, 1 or 6 or 4, 2 or something like that out. It's kind of just rollers, so you can't really call them a big jump necessarily, but still a long ways to go. So we'll finish off another lap here on this track, and then we'll go check out, there's an Enduro track, a local cross track, and then a freestyle track, obviously, which I think some of you guys have already seen on the side over there. There we go, 4, 4, and then what, 6, 2? 5, 6, 2, I don't know, something like that. There's huge lines in these rhythm sections, especially if you're on a 450. It's kind of hard to, really to keep track of everything that you're doing through there, but once you do a couple laps on these tracks and kind of get the flow for it, it's pretty easy. It's just that I'm trying to do all these tracks at once, so it's not the easiest thing to remember where I'm going. But we'll go over this finish line jump, call it a nice little run on that track right there. We'll jump out of that berm and go next to the Enduro track. Just Enduro Cross is what this track is called. So come out of this corner. I like how he's built the rocks in this one. They're not the shape files. They are, you know, raisin lower tooled rocks that he is, you know, used a texture file on top of. So it's really just dirt that we're riding over right now, but that plays better than the shape files in the game because the shape files are all circles. So if you're riding over dirt like that, it means that you're riding over, you know, more undulations than just circles, which makes it honestly a little bit more challenging, but also probably actually makes it so the front tire doesn't knife in awkward situations and stuff like the circles it does on shape files. So did a pretty good job with the way that this Endurocross track flows. It's small, it goes underneath the power line. I like this little jump across the road, and then, you know, it's like a step on, step off into this corner. Like, oddly, a very flowy Endurocross track, which is not something that you expect to hear with the word Endurocross, but it works. It just works and has some, you know, nice poppy flow to it. Like how, once again, he still found a way to incorporate one of his patented sharp landing finish line jumps in there. But that is the Enduro Cross track. So now we just got 2 more things to check out. And I'll try to bust out that huge rhythm section, that other track a little bit later. But this is now the local cross track. And local cross is a very common genre of racing, I feel like. It is also very common in MX Simulator. We used to have local cross series for a long time. And really what it is it's kind of just like, you know, not very jumpy, flat racing. Like kind of simple tracks, like almost what Supercross features used to be, which is like some tables and some small whoops and stuff like that. Easy, you know, it's supposed to be a track that it's not too difficult to learn, not too difficult to jump anything in particular, but a lot of fun to race. And we used to have those types of races all the time in MX Simulator. Don't really see it too much these days, but I wish it'd be something that would come back and we would do a little bit more. But it's easy. Honestly, these are the types of tracks that I recommend most of the time to beginners of the game. Try to learn these types of tracks because these whoops and, you know, these jumps and stuff like that are very forgiving. But if you can learn to do this stuff and put in consistent laps on it, you'll eventually be able to learn how to do all the other stuff along with it, which is, you know, Supercross and ruts and stuff like that is a little bit more challenging, braking bumps, all that. But this is a simple kind of easy way to start off and do something that's not, you know, overly hard, but still a lot of fun, has some good flow, and you can feel like a little bit of a pro yourself by tackling some of these corners and these sections and these whoops and all that. So a nice little local cross track here to bring that vibe back. So thanks JGMT for including something like this, because he could have just made everything gnarly. It is technically looks like a pro compound to a degree, but I like that he changed it up. He had enduro crosses, he had arena crosses, he has freestyle, he has supercross tracks, he has a national track, he has a sand track. Like, he has so much stuff on this track that it's really hard to fathom everything. Even after I've played it all and seen it all, I still can't really remember every little detail about this track even after I've played it. So crazy amount of detail that has gone into this. So that's the local cross track. Let's fire ourselves over here to the freestyle section, which is just this little sliver on the bottom. Doesn't have any name on it or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it's freestyle jumps. It's, you know, almost like a staple. You almost need it on a compound like this. And I like that he's included this little thing where it's like an extension to the freestyle map. You go across the, was it JLV Drive or JLV Avenue or whatever, Moto Boss Drive. You come out of this corner and you pop a huge jump right here. Let's see if we can downside this. Just a little bit short. Also a little bit sideways. But yeah, look, you can see clear across the map right here down that dirt road that I was talking about. It's kind of cool. You go through all those tracks. But this is an area where I feel like a lot of people will have a lot of fun just because you can toss big whips, you can flip, you can do 360s, you can do all kinds of stuff that I'm not good at. But a lot of cool and fun hits to do on this, and probably also some stuff that he didn't design to be fun and cool hits that you can do. Some, you know, transfers, maybe some jumps that are big from off the map that he didn't exactly have planned as something you could do. Actually, that makes me think, I haven't actually hit one of these landers from the corner. I wonder if he's designed it that you can go from lander to lander, or do I need to do that from off map? I feel like I need to do that from off map. That looks way too long. So let's go from off map and take a look. So you can go off map in MX Simulator, unlike MX Bikes, and you just go for days and days and days and days. Like, I'm technically off the map already, but now I'm really off the map and I'm just hanging out here. But we'll get a nice big run from back here and see how far we go on this lander to lander jump combo. And then we'll try to hit that rhythm section one more time. And I'll send you guys on your way today. I don't think I'm going fast enough either. Oh, yeah, need to up my gearing even to get across that. But that would be kind of fun, right? Like lander to lander, transfer jump right there. You could probably toss a cool little oppo whip or something off of that. So let's try to hit what is, I believe, the longest rhythm section on the track the way that I intended it to do it. So we'll go down here. So I think the best way to go about this is to double in out of this corner, because then you can go table over table, triple, oh, backsided. You need to get so much good pop off of that first tabletop to backside that jump right there. So we'll try one more time real quick here. Loop around. These finish line jumps are really fun. They're just, gosh, like, the steepness of those landings makes them darn near impossible to hit correctly. But still a lot of fun when you do. Makes it a good little challenge. Kind of reminds me of trying to land on the backside of tunnel jumps. Right, out of this corner, double in. Table over table. A little bit short, but that's okay. So triple, a little bit short there. Yeah, I'm not even going far enough to step on. So you can also go step on, off, quad, and then 5 or whatever after that. A lot of different options though. Just an absolutely wild compound. One of those things that just kind of showed up on the forums. I saw that he was working on it for a while, and when it showed up on the forums and was actually done, it was honestly so impressive how much work has gone into this and how gnarly this place is. Look at this. Like, there's just so much stuff to do. You'll never get bored. I feel like you could hit every single track, do 10 laps on every single track, and probably play this thing for like 4 or 5 hours straight. But incredible work. Great job by JGMTBike for putting this thing out. And if you guys want to try this track as well, there is a link in the description below for you guys to head over, download it, play it, and have a terrific time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. As always, appreciate you guys stopping by and watching another video here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.